Hey, what's up, guys? Today I'm going to do a little bit of a comparison review for you guys on a couple pairs of gloves that I have here. I have the 16-ounce top boxer lace-ups. I have the rare, hard to find 16-ounce lace-up Grants. I also have another video where I do a review on these gloves by themselves. I have the 16-ounce lace, or should I say, hook and loop bag gloves from Sabas, or Sabas, if that's how you pronounce it. And I also have the 16-ounce hook and loop Triumph United Death Adder gloves. So off the bat, you can kind of see, just for comparison sizing wise, you can see that the top boxer and the Grants are a little bit longer glove. They are lace up, so you can see they have longer in length. They're a little bit more of a slim profile. And the Sabas and the Triumphs are a little bit shorter, stockier, a little bit more wider. And of course, they're Velcro. So weight wise, I would say the Grants. I have not weighed these gloves. That's something I just typically don't do because I really don't pay attention to it very much. But they're all 16 ounce. I would say that the Grants feel about the heaviest out of the four. Maybe the Triumphs would be after that. Sabas, I would say, are third, and then Ronins are probably the lightest. So I don't know how true to weight they are as far as if they're all 16 ounces on the dot. I'd probably take a guess in that they're not, but I would say the Grants are the heaviest ones out of the four. As far as leather quality wise, I would say that these two, the Sabas and the Grants, are closest as far as leather quality. The Grants are made in Mexico. The Sabas, I believe, are also made in Mexico, whereas the Triumphs and the top boxers are made in Pakistan. Now, the top boxer gloves, the leather is different. It's not in a bad way. It's just a different kind of a leather just because it's by region. Obviously, it's Pakistan, so they use a different kind of hide, or should I say leather, that they use in their gloves. Not necessarily a bad thing, just different. It's a little bit more smoother, not as thick as the Grants, but it just has kind of a more of a smoother profile. The Grants are a little bit thicker. They have a little bit more of a stronger smell to it, and just have a different feel. Whereas the Sabas are very similar to the Grants, kind of a thicker, have a little bit more of a leather smell to them. And the Triumph Uniteds, again, are similar to some of the other Pakistani gloves. It's a little bit more of a thinner, slicker type of leather. So I'll leave them up like this. You can also see the thumb design of them. The Grants run a little bit more elongated, where these other gloves kind of curve out a little bit more. All four of these have very comfortable thumbs. So when you slide your hand in there, they all feel broken in. You don't feel much of a difference and thumbs. These might just be a little bit better for people that have longer fingers, just so you can accommodate because it has the room. But other than that, they're all fairly comfortable. All have a nice broken in feel to them. The top boxers, pricing wise, are about $100 to I think $140, depending on what color scheme, how custom you go. Grants are very expensive. I believe they start off at about $375. And I also forgot to mention, with these top boxers, you have to go through, I believe, through his Gmail account to order these from him. He doesn't actually have a website. Grant goes through Facebook. They used to sell, I believe, through Ringside and maybe a couple of other companies before, but now they've gone kind of full-on boutique. Take it as you will. Sabas has a website. Sabas, they have their boxing website. You can find some of their equipment, and you can also talk to Pedro on his email through his Gmail account. And Triumph United, they're kind of the like a lot of the other MMA boxing companies. They have a website, and they kind of mass produce gloves. So out of these four, this is probably the most commercial grade, I would say, as far as you can get these fairly easy. And they have a website, so you can kind of see that. Construction wise, I would say that they are all pretty similar. I would say that the Sabas and Grant are the best construction wise. They have the double stitching. You don't see very many loose threads on these. The padding on the Grants are a little bit more dense compared to the Sabas, so you can see the Sabas a little softer, but they both offer good boxer puncher protection. So they're not a full-on puncher's glove like Reyes, where when you make contact with your fist on the bag, you feel your knuckles go all the way through. These Grants are more or less known to be kind of protective gloves, and that's why Mayweather uses them, just because he has hand problems over the years. These top boxers are very thick, and more of a plush glove too. So these are definitely more of a protective glove. You can see how thick they are compared to these Grants. I'll put them side by side. You can kind of see profile-wise how thick. Sorry, these gloves keep falling over on me. You can kind of see how thick they are compared to the Grants. So definitely a protective glove. These two are kind of a boxer puncher glove, and the same thing with this Triumph United is kind of a boxer puncher's glove. You can kind of see it's thick, but it has some give on the padding. So the protection wrist-wise definitely would be the Grant and the top boxer. You can kind of see the top boxers and the Grant. They use a very nice filling that they use. I don't know if it's definitely not foam. Maybe it's some kind of horsehair, thick horsehair that they use on the wrist protection, so that when you lace up your hands, they stay locked in. Same thing with the Sabas. They use a very nice, I believe it's horsehair on the wrist area. You can't really see it very well because the strap is blocking it, but it's very nice for protection. Whereas the Triumph United's not so much. It's kind of a top-heavy glove because most of the padding is in the knuckles. Whereas you can kind of see that it doesn't really have much padding on the wrist area. So you can see they just kind of put like a little foam insert on there, and that's pretty much it. So kind of a downside of the Triumph Uniteds. All four of these are very nice for protection. I definitely would recommend any of these for heavy bag, mitt work, or even sparring. It just really boils down to price point. If you were to ask me, hey, are the Grants, worth $375 on up? I would tell you no. You can get a comparable glove, excuse me, for a lot cheaper. And again, it just depends on your budget. I mean, if you can afford a pair of Grants and you really like their styling and the gloves are good on your hands, then shoot, go for it. That's your money. Do what you wish. But if you're more on a budget and you can only spend $100, you can still get a good quality pair of gloves that do the same thing for much less and are very comparable in quality. It's just like a pair of Jordans. People can get a $200 pair of Jordans or some LeBrons, but it won't make them play any better in basketball. It's just more of a kind of you're paying for the name. So the same goes for Reyes, Grant, and Winning. You kind of just paying more or less for a name. Not saying that they're bad quality products. I'm just saying that you're kind of paying for the name because they've established themselves as that, so they can charge more. Again, Grants are going to be harder to get. I believe they're only through email, so it might take a while to order those. And these other, same thing with the top boxers, these only through email. So between the four, these two are easier to get, the Triumph Uniteds and the Sabas gloves. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, and thanks for watching.